This is part of the Companion Network. All right, welcome guys. Welcome to Podstalgic, the YouTube channel. First interview on the channel. For those that don't know, I got a podcast on the audio podcast. You can check it out on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, I guess now. But been doing that for 8 years, covering mainly movies, some television. And for those that followed that account, you guys know that I did a lot of different interviews from all walks of life in pop culture. So I thought I would transition and expand the channel to YouTube. And with the first interview, I got Russ Cosón. So hopefully
Hey,
I pronounced that correct that
yeah, no, sounds good,
correctly.
Russ.
Yeah. So coming from the Bay Area originally, how you doing, Russ?
Hey, doing good, man. Thank you for having me. Yay.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I want to give a shout out to my lady friend Kelly, who actually shared your song in
Oh,
this.
wow.
Yeah, we got a little group of some schoolmates all the way back from middle school, and we're just sharing like basically like TikTok videos of like things that remind us from the yesteryears and music.
Oh,
And she
okay.
shared your song. I was like, yo, this is
Oh,
dope. And I'll throw myself under the bus here. I said, hot take, better than the OG. And
hey,
hey, man, dude, they gave me some shit for it. And
that's crazy.
yeah, to each their own. I love an updated sound. So
Hey, thank you, man.
we'll get into your life and stuff like that. But Twisted is your newest hit. Let's just talk about Twisted a little bit,
Okay, yes.
and why that song, and just a little, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Twisted, man, to get started on Twisted, yeah, I just dropped it. I dropped it on December 1st. And, man, I just really love R&B, especially 90s R&B. What inspired me to make this song was I was actually building up my TikTok, and I'm doing a lot of challenges called If I Had a Verse on. And so I was redoing a lot of 90s R&B songs, and it was Twisted that popped off. Like that one like took off, and everyone was telling me like, where can I get the song? I love your version. Where can I get the song? And so I had to remake the beat from scratch, produce it myself, and then wrote the entire song. I used bits and parts of the original in my version, just so it's not just so it's kind of nostalgic, and at the same time, people know the lyrics, but it's just like a new twist on the original. And then I moved to LA. I just moved to LA, and so this was my first song that I was dropping while I just relocated. So yeah, and ever since then, everyone's been loving it, and I'm super excited for everyone to hear it.
Yeah, I know for real, like I said, like yeah, I know it's a hot take. I'm not trying to get the any like special attention by saying something like that. Clearly other people were kind of in the same boat, right? They heard this like, yo, where can I get more of this or whatever. Um,
Yes.
like when I heard that, like that song and going down a rabbit hole of Russ like Casson songs,
Hmm.
like you inspired me to like, you know what? I've been wanting to do this channel. This is like the perfect time to, if this guy says yes, I'm gonna do it. And
Nice.
so we had that pre-talk right before we started recording. I said, oh, man, I reached out to somebody to get me a new logo. I'm gonna start up this channel and start interviewing people like outside of just movies. But yeah, man, your version of Twisted, it's got that the spirit, right, of the Keith Sweat original. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say like, I don't like the original because it's definitely the OG. It's a classic for a reason,
Oh, for sure.
but I just like you breathing some new life into it,
Yeah.
so I really dig that. So you did answer one of the questions that I had about producing, going through a lot of like your songs. There's productions from a lot of other producers as well.
Yep.
When or how do you decide if you want to recreate the song or just produce the song yourself versus reaching out to somebody else?
Gotcha. Well, like when I first started my journey, my music career, I was producing everything from scratch myself. And then I wanted to try to focus more on being the artist versus like trying to do everything all at once because it takes more time that way. And then I had success doing that, but at the same time, there's always this feeling of like a producer's never really hitting the mark on that specific sound that I want. And so I went back to just creating music for myself, like what I like to do, the sound that I like hearing. Like my specific sound is like R&B mixed with a hint of West Coast, a little bit of like Dr. Dre influences. I gotta have like that G-funk sound, but mixed with R&B, and then and then a sprinkle of hyphy because I'm from the Bay Area, and then ever since I've been doing that, going back to just my the fundamentals, pretty much my fundamentals, I've been getting a lot of like people have been really liking my stuff again. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wow, okay, so if people are really digging this style, which is my original style, I'm like, I'm just gonna stick with this. And so that's how I kind of decided when to stop getting production from other people, even though I still have a lot of homies who send me beats who are dope, better producers than me. I'm just in that point of my career where I'm not really chasing like that current sound. I'm not even chasing. I'm more just putting music that I want to hear. Like I want to be the change that I want to hear in the music industry. Like going back to that original R&B vibe, you know what I mean? Because R&B today is just like super toxic. Everyone's just trying to like take everyone's girl, or like just there's no emotions anymore. There's no real like trials.
Sensitivity.
Yeah, you know what I mean? No sensitivity, and that's just how I'm trying to bring back my sound into this crazy world, man.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Like, I recently watched this movie called Weird. It's about the Weird Al Yankovic, and
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I learned something in that film that apparently exists. It's called the is it the Yankovic bump or something like that? I kind of forgot what they call it, but they called it the bump. So basically, anytime Weird Al like does a song like for example, Riding Dirty, he did Chameleonaire's Riding Dirty, and Chameleonaire got a bump like in sales and stuff like that when that song White Nerdy came out, or like anytime Weird Al did like Madonna or Michael Jackson, all of them got bumps in sales for their own music because people are
Wow.
like, oh yeah, let me go back and listen to that old one. So
Oh,
going
wow.
back and going through your discography, and I'm like, yo, he did Southside by Lloyd, so I went back and listened
Yeah.
to Lloyd,
Oh, dope, man.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
was like, oh, he got that nice and slow. I went back and listened to some Usher. So like all these guys were getting little
Nice.
bumps from me from
That's
listening to
dope.
your music. Yeah, yeah. So
That's dope.
so I
And
love it.
I'm
So
glad that happens because I'm or innovating on top of what they already created. I'm not trying to steal shine from them. Like I'm just paying an ode to just like hip hop. Hip hop is all about remixing, paying homage to whoever came before us, and giving it our own twist, our own flavor on top. And so definitely, I'm glad that when you heard my stuff, it made you want to go back to the original, and we all that way we all win. So that's pretty dope.
yeah, no, absolutely. Like growing up, I'm a little bit older than you, so I don't want to put your age out there just in
Yeah,
case. You
it's
don't
all
you don't
good,
want it
man.
out there. I was a little surprised. I was like, oh man, I'm like almost a lot older, and this man's like repurposing like all these '90s music that I grew up listening as a kid, and so we'll
Yeah,
definitely
you're
get
on the
into
new
those.
side, man. It's age
Yeah,
like now, age ain't nothing but a number, man. I
no,
mean,
that's true. I
it's how
mean,
you
hey,
feel
I
inside.
heard that Aaliyah song that you did too. See, so
Hey, thank you, man.
I told you, man, I went through a rabbit hole. Like I told you, I was gonna send you that link that one day, dude. I just started going through like all your albums and your singles and stuff, so I just completely
No.
forgot. I was just listening to your music. Today, I spent most of the day watching your videos because I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
man, this got videos too.
Those
So,
videos actually, the funny thing mention about the videos is like I used to be on a label, and I created the label. I recently left the label
mm,
in 2020. There's some stuff still going on, but anyways, I was trying to take the videos down. I can't even take them down anymore. So all those videos that you've seen are old. I'm actually like not even like trying to push any of those songs anymore because they just don't represent who I am anymore.
oh no,
It was a lot of like immature things, and that's probably part of my journey as an artist was I was chasing the dragon, like I
okay,
had songs that were on the radio, I did all that, and I was always trying to chase that hit again. And then now in this part of my life, like I'm not even trying to do all that, and it sucks because I built a fan base around that type of music, like club music and street music, but it just doesn't. align with me anymore, you know, and it just sucks that some people are like, hey, I saw your video of like this year. I'm like, oh, it's like, to me, it's like kind of cringy. I'm like, no, but you know, nowadays, I'm just anything that's like 2020 and up, then it's cool.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand that. That shows like maturation in yourself and also as a recording
Yeah.
artist. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a big fan of where I'm from. Like
Hey,
I think that's a fun ass video. Like my
yeah,
wife was she saw me watching your video because she's seen that I just shared your clip and stuff, and
nice.
so she knows that I've been on this Russ rabbit hole, and she was like, "Where are they from?" I go, "Well, I know he's from Frisco and kind of grew up in the Bay," and she was like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
actually
know,
from San Jose. I'm from San Jose, California.
okay,
The San Francisco Bay Area, the whole Bay Area. We call it the San Francisco Bay Area. But my
I see.
hometown is San Jose. I grew up also in the East Bay, so like Fremont, Hayward, Newark. I'm not sure if you know too much of that, but
I
south
yeah.
of Oakland, a little bit south of Oakland. So,
Okay. I spent very little time in Stockton because my
okay.
mom lived there for a little bit, like Stockton, Modesto, that kind of area, Lodi.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm familiar-ish. I got some step siblings still kind of
Mm-hmm.
in the area, nickel and dimes, you know. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
um, kind of familiar. And I'm a big Blazers fan, and Lillard from Oakland. So I got a friend in Oakland actually. So shout out to Mariano, who's the
Oh, nice,
co-host
man.
of Podstalgic, the movie reviews. Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Um,
what's your ethnicity, by the way, bro?
I'm a Laos,
Oh, you're
Laotian.
Laos. Okay,
Yeah,
I was looking at your last name. I was like, okay, he's probably Laos or Cambodian
yeah,
or
yeah.
Thai.
Right, right, right. It's funny. Like I showed my coworker who's Laos over. I was like, hey, check out this new song, Twisted. He's like, that guy Filipino. I go, can you tell? Like, just look it
Yeah,
up.
right. Hey, I mean,
Yeah,
we're all Southeast Asian, man. We all look the
yeah.
same, bro.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw the beard of yours. I was like, man, let me try to, because I've been trying to, I didn't shave during November. And
Oh
then seeing
yeah.
your beard, I was like, let's see how much further I can go, man. I've been working on this. It looks like I've been working on it for like 20 years, like,
Hey, no,
all right.
man. Mine just grew in maybe like 2017, bro, and I just never
Oh,
put it
okay.
out. Yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I
Okay.
couldn't
I was
grow
going to
one.
say, I thought you were
I
going to
couldn't
tell me
grow
like,
one.
a few months ago, like, man,
No, no, no. Mine used to look like yours. You know what I mean? But it grew in all of a sudden.
okay. All right. Lucky you. Yeah. And again, I'm a little bit older than you too. So I'm just like, man, I can never grow a beard. So let's learn a little bit more about you, man. Let's go back early. Now, you were born in San Francisco and then grew up in San Jose?
No, I was born and raised in San Jose.
Okay. Okay. So
I was never from San Francisco. Yeah, really, just the Bay Area.
yeah, I don't know where I got Frisco, man. I tried doing some Googling, so
It says
uh
I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. Yeah,
got it. Got it. A lot of words there.
yeah.
So now again, I kind of mentioned like you were like literally a baby in the 90s. Where did that the musical I guess inspiration, or where did that love for the 90s music come from?
Oh, yeah. I guess just being raised through the '90s, it was just part. It was on the radio. My my older sister listened to Aaliyah a lot. My uncle listened to Tevin Campbell. A lot of like and Keith Sweat. He put me on. Keith Sweat is actually one of my favorite R&B artists. Him and R. Kelly are like my major influences. Um, and yeah, man. And I used to sing. I used to sing, karaoke with my family, and we had parties all the time, and we would always sing like the same song. So it would be like '90s R&B stuff, and then it moved to like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, during the boy band phase.
Hmm.
And so that's pretty much where I started listening to like '90s and 2000s R&B songs.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like we had a very similar, upbringing, if you want to say that, except for, I got the shower voice, right? Or car karaoke type of voice, So, growing up, my dad is a singer. He sang for a local, Laotian band. They would
Oh,
perform at like,
no.
yeah, weddings and New Year parties and stuff like that. So I kind of grew up around the music. My dad plays the guitar.
Nice.
I used to write a lot of rap lyrics back in the day. I had a few
Nice,
songs I
man.
recorded,
Hell
couldn't
yeah.
freestyle with the best of them, but I felt like I was a pretty decent writer at the least. I
Yeah.
had friends that rapped,
Yeah.
but I was always around the music and always around karaoke. And I've shared the story many times, but me and my boys, we would call ourselves Asian Sync.
Asian.
and
Hey,
yeah, and karaoke, yeah,
that's
it
crazy.
sounds like the same type of music, like same thing, R. Kelly, Immature,
Immature. Oh yeah.
love me some Immature, Silk, Jodeci, all of
Oh
those. So
man, okay.
it
My
sounds like
favorite.
the same type of things. Yeah, and Leo definitely gone way too soon, man. 2001, rest
Yeah.
in peace. So did you do like talent shows and stuff growing up as well?
Yeah. So
When did you know that you were able to sing?
actually, when I was a kid, we would do karaoke, and then I started writing my own songs. Wow, actually, that's a memory unlocked. I started writing my own songs to instrumentals, and then recording them on the cassette player. And then me and my cousin started a boy band when we were in like sixth grade, and
What are you guys
then
called?
we were. It was hella dumb, man. We were called 711 plus one because we were 11 years old. My cousin was 7, and my other cousin was 13. It was so dumb. But
It makes
anyways,
sense.
it makes sense when you're a kid, right? So, anyways, we did that, and then freshman year is when I actually started pursuing singing. I started a group, like an a cappella group, freshman year, and we would sing like interlude, Kai, D&H things. Like it was popping at that time.
Yeah.
This was like early 2000s, mid 2000s, and so people were doing the ukulele, people were doing guitar at school, and we were called So Fresh. And so I was like one of the lead singers doing that, and we would do like Shy if I ever fall in
All in
love.
love, yeah.
Yeah, if I, and we did that, and then we sang at a couple cotillions, and then I started rapping and producing. So then, I guess now I used to be a rapper for a while, and then I was always singing the hooks because I always loved just like um, R&B song or rap songs with R&B hooks on them, kind of like Nate Dogg, like how
Mhm.
Nate Dogg does it for like the Dog Pound, Dr. Dre stuff. And Dr. Dre was like my huge influence for production wise, and yeah, and then after that, just stuck with it, man. I bought my first mic at 14 years old, like my first real studio mic, and I just never stopped ever since then. Ever since 14, man.
Yeah, I remember being around that same age, seventh, eighth grade is when I actually started kind of doing the same thing as you, writing to instrumentals, going to Tower Records and buying CDs with
Yeah,
the single plus the instrumental. So,
yeah,
you were
exactly.
winning if you found one, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
I think one of the first songs that I was able to get an instrumental for on CD was 112's Cupid. And it
Cupid.
came, because it just had that good percussion with the snaps, and I was like,
Oh
okay,
yeah, the little drop, the little teardrop,
yeah,
or
yeah, so I mean, I was like, this could work. So I had like a that that the soft rap, like the smoothing, the voice to I pretty much called it like lovey-dovey rap, is was kind of what I was into around that
yeah.
time. But you mentioned rapping and singing. Like
Mhm.
if I had a voice like yours, I felt like I would just just sing for fun all day, just record myself singing all these covers. Uh, how do you decide? Or it sounds like you decided singing over rapping, but how did you
Yeah.
make that decision?
What's crazy was that I made the decision to sing over rap because I guess like my voice is a little higher, and it's crazy, bro. Like I used to hate my voice because I used to always try to be the tough guy when I was a young kid. You know what I mean? Like, and then, but I always had like this high voice, and so I would always make these fucking like street songs. Like everyone, you're a teenager and you're trying to be macho and you're, like immature and you're just making these fucking stupid songs. And it was, I decided to like, I actually was singing, and my old manager at the time, because long story, we got signed with an independent label, and he was like, "Hey Russ, like you can sing really good. Why don't you just sing instead?" And like don't rap anymore. I was like, no, but I love rapping. He's like, just sing your raps. I was like, oh, okay. So then I did that, and then everything just changed for me. Like I guess it just everything started blowing up. And so then I was just like, man, and I started loving. Then I grew to love my voice, and so now I use. It's weird because my insecurity became my strength. You know what I mean? Like I
Mm.
used to hate my voice, but now my voice is so unique that I love it. It makes me stand out as far as like other singers and stuff.
Well, absolutely. It's you know, I love that, and I have a similar story too with with podcasting. You know, when I first started in 2014, I
Hmm.
was at that point. I've never been a fan of my voice, and that's the other thing too. Like I wrote a lot of raps and stuff, and I recorded, but it's nothing I really put out there because I didn't think I had a good voice,
Yeah,
and it wasn't until I got into podcasting, started interviewing, and this actress from the '80s who I adore. She was just like, this was off mic. She was like, you have a great voice. And, she just really talked me up. I go, well, thank you. That meant a lot to me. And ever
yeah,
since then, I just like forget it. This actress says I have a great voice. I have a great voice,
yeah,
so yeah, but I love that. Yeah. Your insecurity became your strength. That's, I feel that for sure.
yeah.
Um, yeah. And also like, I do like the fact that it's high. Like my two favorite, uh, artists that sing is Bruno Mars and The Weeknd,
Oh,
and
dope.
yeah,
I love
and they
both of
have
them, man.
yeah, and they have higher voices, right? Like,
Yeah,
but yeah, like, The Weeknd's cover of Dirty Diana is, I think, one of his best songs, just because I
oh
think
yeah,
he does it justice. And so like when you did like Lloyd Southside, I was like, yes, but this it complemented because I was getting
yeah,
some Lloyd vibes early
yeah,
on when I first started listening to some of your songs. I was like, man, this reminds me a lot of The Dream, also.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people say like my voice sounds like The Weeknd, The Dream, Lloyd, fucking
Yeah.
Jeremiah. You know, like it's kind of
Yeah.
like a
Oh yeah, I love Jeremiah. I mean, and those are all in great company too, man.
yeah, yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, so that's awesome. So yeah, when you hear things like that, like you can like I would imagine you can only be proud and be like, hell yeah, man, we'll put up more music then if
Hell yeah,
people
because I'm
put me
like,
up
dude,
there
I
with these
listen to
artists.
all of them. You know, like those
Yeah,
are like my freaking like
inspirations.
I get inspiration from them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
like, if I can be compared to them, I'm like, dude, I'll take that for sure. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Anytime there's that expression like every day, all day, twice on Sunday or something like that. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I didn't get to hear any stories. Like, did you actually do any talent shows at all, or is that something you kind of stayed away from? Because again, you bought a mic at 14. That
Yeah.
sounds like freshman year to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, it's crazy. I did do a couple. Now that I remember, I did do a couple talent shows, a lot of showcases in high school, and then when I moved to from San Jose to Newark, which is kind of by it's like 30 miles north. I had to establish myself, the new kid at school, and I would like I always wanted to be an artist. Like it was one of my dreams, so I would always just force myself to do it, and I got a lot of love from that. And yeah, it's crazy. Like I did do some talent shows, and now that like because I totally forgot. And for a long time, like I was always shy, like super shy. Um, but I just always loved making music, and every time I put it out there, people would always tell me like, "Dude, you got to do more. Like you got to put yourself out there more." And yeah. And then I started doing more shows as I started making more music. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just been great.
I wish I had to know how, like, in terms of managing artists and whatnot, man. But I feel like you're right there for someone to take, man. And like your sound, your music and stuff, like it's stuff that yeah should be on the radio right now. Like
Thank
yeah,
you, man.
yeah. Everyone needs. I mean, like it says a lot when like I'm not. I still don't get TikTok. Like I have a TikTok for my Cobra Kai account, but like I don't know what to do. Like
Yeah.
I'm like out there, man. I'm almost 40, so like I'm still trying to figure things out.
Oh yeah,
But
no,
when
that's all
but
good.
like but you throw a twisted out there, and it blows up like it's all right there for you to blow up, man. It's just kind of it's a matter of time, really.
Man,
Um,
thank
but
you.
now in growing up, all right, the my Filipino friends like there's a lot of like nurses and what have
Yeah.
you. What kind of supportive unit did you have at home growing up?
Yeah, at home, I grew up with a single mom, so I never knew my dad growing up. It was just my mom, my older sister, me, and my younger sister. So, two
Household of
other
women.
sisters.
You were the man of the house.
I was the man of the house, and my mom was always working. So then I would stay with like my cousin's house at my cousin's house, and so my aunt and my uncle became really my father and mother figure for me. They introduced me to music. They listened to all kinds of music, and we grew up in poverty too. Like my immediate family, we grew up poor, and so I always wanted to take care of my family. And so as soon as I graduated high school, I went straight to college, just because I thought that was the thing to do to take care of my family, to get them out of poverty. And at the time, I was working at a hotel. Right in high school, or like right after high school, I was working at a hotel, and like one of my managers there was like, "Oh, why don't you get a degree in hospitality?" I was like, "Oh, okay." I never knew what that was. So then I loved tourism and hospitality at the time, and got my degree. I went to San Jose State, got my hospitality tourism degree, got the job. Did all that, right? Like you would think that would be the dream, but you know what? At the end of the day, I hated it. I was so unhappy. Like I was the first in my family to go to school, make my mom proud. But at the end of the day, all I wanted to do was make music and make myself happy. And so it's crazy. I quit my job. Boom, I quit my job. I was like, man, fuck this. I want to be an artist. And then it's been fucking history ever since then, man. So I got some backlash from my mom. She's like, what are you doing? You're crazy. But, I explained to her, like, like this is my life. I want to be happy, and she's been supportive ever since then. So, yeah.
And I mean, if nothing else, I get you still got that degree to kind of fall back on, right?
Exactly.
I think that's a pretty good trajectory because you still have something. It's you hear a lot of like really great stories of like, well, I pursued my dream out of school and here I am.
Yeah.
But there's not a whole lot of discussions if like, that's great, right? But like I don't want to be that Debbie Downer and be like, well, what if your trajectory stalls for some time, because
Yeah.
it's a struggle out there, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah, for
Like, what are
sure.
you going to do in the meantime? And it sounds like you have something you could do in the meantime.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you're not writing music?
Man, right now I'm actually just a full-time recording artist. I've been blessed with the means to support myself musically, and um, I just do like all kinds of things, So, yeah, it's crazy.
I saw you were involved in a Filipino parade, right, earlier this year.
Yeah, yeah. So one of my friends who's a DJ, and he's like the head of, it's called Mix Global. And so they're like a huge Filipino platform that promotes like Filipino artists, Filipino actors and actresses, Filipino entertainment. And I built up a relationship with him. And when there was a parade in San Francisco, he put me on the same float with like huge artists from the Philippines, like with millions of followers. And it was just a really good look brand for my brand. And so, shout out DJ Marlino, man. Thank you so much, man, for messing with me. And yeah, man, just, I'm really into spirituality too. And so having faith that everything's going to work out has always worked out for me.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. So after college, you got your degree. What did you do then? Because you were already making music by then, I'd imagine. So you had
yeah,
people to kind of be on board to kind of help you, kind
yeah.
of, so to speak, jumpstart this career.
Yeah. So my last year in college, me and my friends, they rapped, I sang, and we got picked up by an independent label, and so we all pretty much built this label from the ground up. And as soon as I graduated college, I was like, I'm going full time with this music shit. And then it was that year I had a hit record on the radio. We did a little tour, man. We went to Atlanta, went to Vegas, Boston. Yeah, man. And Santa Fe. I went to Santa Fe, New Mexico. Seattle. It was dope, man.
So,
So
so where does the money come from to do to go on a tour like this? That's a lot of places.
yeah, so the streams, definitely the streams at the time, and then at the time, my manager was an entrepreneur. So just like any other label, you get fronted a a budget, and then you
Okay.
work with it, and then just go from there.
Is that the same thing for like music videos too? Because some of those music videos, man, they remind me of like Hype Williams, to kind of take
Yeah,
it back to the
man.
90s and
So
stuff.
that's why now it's kind of hard, especially now me being independent. Like I got to front everything. I got to do everything myself, and so to cut costs a lot. I mean, to survive as an artist, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to be the artist. You got to be the recording engineer. You got to learn how to mix your own stuff. You got to learn how to like cut your own videos, unless you want to pay someone else to do it. But it's kind of unsustainable if you have to do it that way, and especially being independent now, like you gotta everything comes out of your pocket. So you got to learn how to sustain yourself that way.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta learn the business side and
Yeah,
the
and
music
all
artist side.
yeah,
Um, Speaking about production, we talked about you singing and rapping. You mentioned Dr. Dre being a huge influence. Um,
yes.
Puff Daddy was one of my early
Me too, Love
inspirations.
Daddy.
Yeah, just for
Yeah,
taking music from the 80s. Now, see, so
exactly.
the difference between what you do, I feel, and what he did, he just took kind of those same beats. Like I would listen to a song growing up, that's Puff Daddy and Bad Boys, like, hey, this is a good song. And then I'll hear the original and be like, man,
It's
he didn't really
exactly the
do
same.
anything different. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's the same. And so so you do what I've always wanted to do, but I don't know. I don't have any production skills at all. But
hmm
I feel like I have an ear for music, and I've always
yes,
wanted to have the spirit of a song in there, but repurpose it,
yeah.
remix it the way you do. So when I heard this, I was like, this, man,
So,
like that passion I had went into you. I mean,
hey.
not to like knock on anything else. Just like, but you're basically doing what I wanted to do growing up. I
Yeah,
just didn't have the means, nor the drive that you do. I was a teenage father, so like a lot of the things I wanted to do, man,
oh,
it
okay.
it, it went into raising kids. I
Yeah.
got 5 kids, so I've been doing that ever since junior year, dude. So I started like
Oh man,
super
you've been a
young
dad for a while then.
for a long ass time, man. Almost was,
My sister too. She has 5 kids, and she's
yeah,
your age. Yeah, she's your age.
yeah,
My
yeah, yeah, yeah,
oldest,
yeah. And my oldest son, man, is 22. So
my
yeah,
eldest niece
so
is 22. Yeah, the same
yeah.
age.
See,
So.
see, there you go. But yeah,
But yeah,
man. So
you told me like, oh, you don't have any kids? I got kids, man. I helped my sister raise 3 kids. So
that's what's up.
Uncle Russ, man.
Yeah, I'll go Russ. I like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like
So
that.
yeah, I've been our family, Asian family. We help each other, So we always
They,
got to
they
make
they
sure
they say it takes a village, right? That's
it
the
takes a
expression. It
village.
takes a
Yeah.
village. Absolutely.
So that's why I'm kind of glad now that me and my girl moved to LA. Like, I get to get away from the kids, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice to just have a little freedom, and we'll definitely get to you making that big move. I just
Yeah.
wanted to learn a little bit more of production. Like also some of my inspirations that's still relevant now is like Timbaland. I always say like
No,
if
you
if
are
I
literally hitting the nail
cut,
on the head, man. Like
cut from the same cloth, it sounds like.
those are literally all my influences. Like Dr. Dre from the West Coast, Puff Daddy was a huge influence in my life, especially with all the remixes that he did. Timbaland with like Black Brown Records, you know what I'm saying? Like he did all the Genuines, Missy Elliott's, Aaliyah's, like
Dude, when I heard differences come in my ears, I was like, no, this man did differences too. So like
yeah,
that's
man.
that's the
I love
I don't know.
Timbaland.
I don't know if my wife would agree, but differences, I say it's our song. That song was hot when we started seeing each other,
Oh
so
no,
she might have a different answer, but like
yeah,
anytime I hear differences, I think about when we just started dating. But yeah, Genuine is also somebody I love. Differences is probably one of my top five songs,
nice.
especially like in those jeans.
Oh, I love
But
your those dudes.
yeah, yeah. Hey man,
Man, we got
forget
the
this
same
interview.
taste.
Let's just go karaoke right now.
Let's just go, man. Let's go. We'll get
No,
some
so
beers. We'll have a good time, man.
hey, so how did you learn production and like just kind of talk about that because I'm just so fascinated with producing music.
What I did was when I was in high school, at 14, my mom actually I lived with my mom and then she moved to Texas. So then I was living with my older sister, and so she would pick me up on her break, and I had to go home. So I couldn't go. I didn't have anyone to hang out with or like anything. So I just started making beats. I got Fruity Loops. I started off on Fruity Loops, and it was a free version. We cracked it. This is when LimeWire came out. With
Yeah,
LimeWire,
I
so
know.
we cracked it,
Cause
and then I just started making beats. I just started trying to remake what I heard or what I was listening to. So I listened to at the time like a lot of West Coast stuff, like Snoop Dogg, Tupac, a lot of Bay Area music, and they always had like piano chords and like a funky bass line and like a G whistle, like a lead. They call it a lead, and
Okay.
that was kind of like my style. And you know, even till this day, I'm still learning production, man. Like I don't even know
Sure.
how to play piano. I have a keyboard, and I use this website called Chordify, and you plug in on YouTube any song, and it gives you the chords, and it shows you what freaking keys to put in, and so I just put it all together, and that's it, man. Like I don't
Self-made,
even know how to
man.
play.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
blowing my
bro, I
mind,
don't even know
man.
how to play.
I might have to get with you offline and maybe you can help me
Yeah,
figure
bro.
something
Like I
out.
don't even know how to play piano. I know how to play the guitar, but I'm not like hella good. Like I only know like the basic chords. You know,
Yeah,
like
I mean it's enough that like you know whichever production like again I've listened to so many songs at this point. I don't know which ones you produce personally, but like I'm listening. Like when I listen to your music, I'm listening to the lyrics, but my ears always tune into certain instruments and certain samples and things like that. I picked up on songs with guitars because I was wondering, and you say you played, so
mhm.
yeah, that's really interesting. I wish I had a list of like the songs that I just kind of wanted to pick your brains on. But there's something I was just listening to. I was like, man, this feels like something I would have written, you know?
Oh
So
no, man.
yeah, man.
I just Twisted. I produced that 100%. Closer Than Friends. I
Yeah,
remade by Surface. I did that 100%. Demon Hours was the Nice and Slow
yeah,
remix. I
right,
did
right.
that 100%.
There was
So everything from 2020 and up, pretty much, I did.
yeah, I'm forgetting the title of it, but there's another song you did. Is it two? Is it two of them or
Justin
I,
Silas or
uh,
Took 'em Both. Took 'em
which
Both is
one is?
more. It was a like a rap like club song. Was it
Well,
that one?
it's there's one song. Backseat. I think it's
Oh,
Backseat.
Backseat. Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
the one where you took some of the lines from Nice and Slow also, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
just want
yeah,
to do something freaky to you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was watching that video. I was like, man, where those girls come from?
Oh no. Oh no! See, that video was dope. I really
Yeah.
love that video. That was like one of my favorite ones. And that song was dope, man. It hit our radio station back home, and it was going off. Even out here in LA, man, on Power 106 and 92 Rio.
So,
So,
okay. So, what was the first song that hit the radio, and what was that feeling like?
oh my God, the first song was Right Now. We call it Right Now, and that was featuring I Am Sue.
Okay.
And so that one, and during the time, that sound was very popular. It's called R and bass, and so it's kind of like a Chris Brown
Okay.
mixed with DJ Mustard kind of sound. And so it just when that song blew up, man, like that was the one that kind of took off for me. Like after I graduated high school, we made that song, and it went crazy. And that feeling was so crazy, man. Like even in my hometown of San Jose, like there were other artists who have been making music like way ahead of me, and they're just like, dude, like where'd this guy come from? You know what I mean? And it just happened out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere.
I mean, it's again, same thing. Shout out to Kelly. Like when she dropped that song, I was like, "Who is this guy?" When I saw that you had a channel and all these songs already, and, you know, I messaged you. I was just like, "Hey," yeah, and I was just joking too. I was just like, "Yeah, you should be like redoing all the classics." You're like, "Yo, I have." Like you should. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I need to go check
yeah.
these out. Yeah, so it's
And
just
I'm
one of
still in the
those.
process, man. Like I'm still working on. I still got a lot more work. I'm currently working on. I got a Freak Me Silk remix coming, bro. That one's so dope.
It's one of my songs.
If you like Twisted, you're gonna like this one, bro.
Yeah.
And then I did a Before I Let You Go by Blackstreet. That one's
Oh,
so dope, bro.
man.
I'm playing the guitar on that one, and I can't
Yeah.
wait for that one to come out.
You take suggestions?
Yeah, what do you want me to
There,
remix?
there's a song from a local artist from Portland, and she had Ghetto Romeo on it. Her name is Sassy. Okay, the
Sassy.
song, yeah, Sassy featuring Ghetto Romeo. The song's called "Kiss You."
I'm gonna look that up right now.
Yeah, and I that's just is one of my favorite songs because some of the songs that we've been talking about, man, it's on. I was on this I shared a link with you where I interviewed I Know Jay.
Yeah.
That podcast was called Music Ate My Brain, and I was a guest to my friend who hosted an episode where we did top five makeout songs,
Oh
and
shit.
so I had Kiss You on there. I had Weak by SWV.
Oh yeah.
I had did I have Freak You? I think I had Freak You. And gosh, I'm trying to think some of those, but Differences was also on there. Oh,
Oh
and the
nice.
other one was Subway featuring 702, This Little Game We Play. You know that
Damn,
one?
I haven't heard that one, but I know 702 though, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Sub
that.
write that one down. Subway
My
featuring
phone is frozen.
702.
Oh my god,
Oh
my
no,
phone. It's been
I'll
acting
text
up.
it to you.
Oh, yeah, text it to me, please. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, my shit's frozen, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
like
God.
hey, if you ever have writer's block, man, just shoot me a text. Peter, you got any other songs you can suggest?
For real, yeah,
Yeah,
no, for real.
I got some. I'll send you the YouTube videos to those songs. Oh man, that sucks.
No,
Oh man, that's
my next thing is I want to definitely redo like some interlude stuff,
oh
like
yeah. I haven't
just
heard Interlude in so long. That was my shit too.
yeah, some interlude, some Kai things. Like I just feel like I gotta pay homage to like Filipino artists who, and they're
Yeah,
also from the Bay Area, man. They're from San, or
yeah,
like interlude is from San Jose. That's where I'm from, and
yeah.
so, and I've
Yeah.
met one of them.
Interlude. They also sang. Was it? Is it My Girl? Right? They got a song called My Girl. I
I
feel.
think
Is
that
it
might be
My
Kai.
Girl?
I'm not sure.
In my world, something about her makes me say, yeah, yeah, yeah. I do something like
But
that.
they got so many bangers, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's been a really long time, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. What's the man? The other thing too, like growing up, you mentioned LimeWire. That's
yeah,
what's talked about, like LimeWire, Kazaa,
yes,
Napster.
Napster.
Some people they'll put songs up there, but the title won't even be the right title, or the artist won't even be the right artist.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
So it kind of
so
confuses you, man.
right, right. It'll be like Kai, but like that ain't Kai. That's Interlude.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
people
Have you ever
always mix it
heard
up.
"If I Had a Wish" by Colors? Have you heard that song?
I bet you I have.
So that's why you brought a good point up. On the LimeWire, they said it was by Interlude. But all these years, I was trying to find that song, "If I Had a Wish" by Interlude, and it wasn't even them. It was by a group called Colors.
Can you sing a little bit of the chorus?
Because, if I had a wish that I could tell, na, 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 na,
It sounds
na.
familiar. That sounds
It's dope
familiar.
though, bro. It's one of my favorite ones. But
Yeah.
I'll text it to you once my phone
Okay.
turns on.
We just keep texting each other songs.
Yeah, yeah,
There-
man.
Man, there was okay. I wish I can think of it, but there was also one for the longest time. I thought it was one artist and or boy band rather, and I was like, what? No, it wasn't them this whole time. Oh, I know it was a song. It was that song, Twinkle 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 Twinkle
Yeah, yeah.
Little
I love
Star.
that song too.
So I forgot who I thought it was this entire time, but it wasn't
I thought
them.
that was Interlude.
Okay, see, so it was Interlude. So I thought it was somebody else, not Interlude, this whole time.
But it's not. It's not Interlude.
So it's not Interlude.
It's not, bro. I
Who
don't
is
know who
it?
it is, but it's not them though.
Man,
Yeah, see,
hey,
man, it was funny
man,
stuff.
I bet you your circle, somebody will be able to put it in the comments or something. For anybody that knows, man, that was the struggle back in the day, right? So
Yeah,
now with the advent of like Spotify and
you're
I
finally
don't know.
is.
SoundCloud, do you think you run into the same problem with SoundCloud?
Yeah, I personally, I have my stuff on SoundCloud just because when I first started going as an artist, that was like the go-to place to put your music. But
Right.
they don't really pay you enough. So I put it on there for free, just
Yeah.
so whoever's on there who uses that platform can still get my stuff. Because I don't want that to be like a limitation to
Right.
not hearing
Right.
my
Right.
music. But I'm
And
mostly
I mean, it's good to throw it on there too, because if somebody discovers it, be like, oh, if this guy's got more stuff,
yeah,
maybe it's on YouTube, Spotify,
yeah.
Google Play, and stuff like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm really just trying to push those platforms, Spotify especially, just because the interface is just really user friendly and it's the algorithm is hella good, and so yeah, SoundCloud is still cool, but I try to stay away from
Yeah.
SoundCloud.
To backtrack to production, like I feel somebody who doesn't get mentioned enough when it comes to producing, rather. Like I feel like this artist, gets talked about when it comes to raps and when included in West Coast like raps and stuff like that. But Daz Dillinger is
Oh,
also like
bro,
a really dope producer, right? See. So like
dude,
I
we were
it
literally
doesn't get
we have
enough
the same
love.
taste. I love like Daz Dillinger is for sure one of my other top West Coast artists, man. Like I listened to his first album. I forgot what it's fucking called, but there's this song on there called "In California." That song slaps. He did all of like what's that called?
A lot
Again,
of the Tupac songs too are really, really good. I
yeah,
mean,
man.
isn't America's Most Wanted or two of America's Most Wanted? Isn't that Daz?
I don't know if he did that or if Dre did that, but it's either one of them. But Daz Dillinger, you said it, man. He's dope.
I think some people sleep on him. Like they probably just assume it's Dr. Dre,
Yeah,
but like back in the day when we used to buy CDs with those book covers, I always look at the producers who produced what,
yeah.
you
There's
know,
another guy. I think his name's Michael Turner.
around that
Um,
time.
around that time, but he produced a lot of West Coast music, but he just never spoke up. But he definitely did a lot of the classics like "Only God Can Judge Me" by Tupac. He did that. He did a lot of like E40s and Too Shorts production. Um,
Yeah.
but I forgot his fucking name.
Was
See, I
that
even forgot his name.
only God can judge me? Wasn't that Rapping Forte featuring Rapping Forte?
Oh, yeah, that's the one with Rapping Forte.
I love you some Rapping Forte too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. See, Rapping Forte's from the Bay, man. He's from
Right, right.
Oakland. I don't know, he's from
I
Frisco.
Dude, you know what? I mean, I feel like I should have grew up in California. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
man.
a lot of my influences were from there. I mean, I have
No,
family
but
from
Portland's
there.
dope too, man. I love going to Portland.
We get stuff a little bit later, but I think the music scene has gotten a little bit more current. But I remember back in the day, dude, like we used to get songs. We'd be like, "Oh, this is fire," and I'll have like family from Cali, like, "Y'all just now getting this?"
Yeah,
like,
no,
like,
funny fucking story. Me and my girl went to Portland. This was like 2015. We went to Portland for one of our anniversaries, and we went to a club. It was called, I think, Trinity at the time, and yeah, it was downtown. But we go in there and they're slapping DMX. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind, bro. They was going off, and then they had to run it back. I'm like, damn, this is an old song though. Like,
right.
you know
I
what I'm
was like,
saying?
Portland.
Like, it's hella played out, but in Portland, you guys are going crazy. So
Yes.
I was like, damn, yeah, I guess they are a little late, but it's all good though.
I'm kind of curious to like, well, that was the name of the club, or was that like the event being
The
thrown in a
name of the
club?
club was called Trinity, but I'm not sure if it's there anymore because this was
Right,
like
right.
2014, 2015.
Yeah. We got one now that's pretty popular, and they seem to go through management every few years because I don't go out very often, but when I do, it seems to like, wait, now it's called something else now? Like there's this one,
Yeah,
I think it's already changed like three times. I think like it was church and now it's like something else that doesn't even sound like a club,
yeah.
you know,
I think that's where we went to.
like
We went to
Jackie's.
one. It was called. It was like it was a strip club too, like
It used to be a
club.
strip club or
Yeah,
is
it
it?
was definitely downtown. I forgot what it's
Yeah.
fucking called, but it was cool. It was pretty fun.
Okay. It was all right, kind of low key for Portland scene, Yeah.
Well,
I kind of
I
dig
didn't
it.
know that Portland was like the number one strip club capital.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, bro. I was like,
Like,
I thought it was Atlanta because we went to one in Atlanta, and I thought that was like strip club capital, but I learned
is
that
is
Portland.
is it is it Atlanta? I mean, look, like there's no like this is explicit. Whatever. Is Atlanta? Are they completely nude? Because I know
You know, so
Portland is.
anyways, Atlanta is way more explicit than Portland. I'm gonna keep it real.
Interesting. Okay,
It
okay.
was, yeah, it's kind of like they're like, oh shit, what's going on? But Portland is just very classy, not very. It's just like a regular
Interesting.
club. Yeah,
Well, because I've been to one in Jacksonville, Florida, and I feel like they didn't undress as much as what I'm used to in Portland because they're completely nude in Portland. So
oh yeah, no,
I don't free.
it was completely new but ratchet in Atlanta, bro.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, yeah. I think the one I went to, they were actually filming a music video while we were there. So I
Oh,
guess it's fun. Like
shit.
you could have paid just to be like, an extra. I think it was Slip and Slide Records that was down
Oh,
there filming.
shit. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
because my friend who took me there, he's like, oh yeah, it's usually not like this at all. Like I think they're filming, and I was like, yeah, clearly there's a cameraman, and there's the rappers on stage and stuff, and with all the girls. So it was a little bit more tamed, according to him. But
Yeah.
either way, yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. Well, yeah. All right. So the decision to move to LA. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly that's a big thing. And you said that you've been kind of like doing music full time. So
Yeah.
how did you reach the decision to make the move to LA?
Yeah, we've me and my girl Sarah, we've always been wanting to come out
She's in
here
one of
just
your
'cause,
videos, right? She's in one of your videos, at least one.
um at least one of them. I'm not sure which
I
one
think
though,
she's
but
like sitting on the couch. I was doing my research. I feel like there's one that you're singing. I forgot where it was. I feel like it was her.
one of them though, yeah, one of them it was I forgot which one it was, but yeah, so she's a content creator too. So both our industries are out here in LA, and so um yeah, like we were just tired of talking about it, and we've been coming out here a lot this year, especially for events, and every time we're out here, we just feel different. We feel inspired, and the last couple times we were out here, we were just like, hey, let's just go look around for places we want to stay at. So we started looking around like Koreatown. We started looking up by like Reseda because I like Cobra Kai too. And so I was like,
Okay.
where's Cobra Kai at? So we started going to Reseda, Encino up there. But I didn't really. It was a little too far from the action. So right now we're in central LA. It's perfect. We're like literally
Okay.
centrally located. We're like 5 miles from everything, from Beverly Hills, from Hollywood, from it's dope. But
Yeah.
yeah, we were just tired of talking about it, and we just felt like it was a perfect time to be here. So
Yeah. So it's actually a move for the both of you guys. It sounds
yeah,
like.
yeah, for
Yeah.
both.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah. So that's probably an easier sale too when it's the both of you looking to make that move.
Yeah,
Um, but kind of what you're mentioning, just like anytime you visit LA, like I don't come often. Usually when I go to Cali, it's for like Disneyland,
yeah.
and I mentioned to you off mic like earlier in April, I got to go to LA, the theater. What was it called? The one where they have the Academy Awards at. Like I was there the week after
Oh,
Will slap Chris.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah. So
Oh,
after the Oscars, yeah, it's not the Microsoft. No, I don't think that's the Microsoft. Whichever it was, that's where I was the week after the Academy Awards,
oh,
and
okay.
so I flew down there to work the red carpet for Cobra Kai night for the
Oh,
Paley Fest is what it's called. Yeah, and shortly after that, again, LA kind of the line of opportunities. I mean, I'm sure a lot of places are, but for kind of if you want to pursue like a specific thing in the industry, whether it be music or movies,
yeah,
television, I think is there. So
yeah.
after my red carpet event, not too long after, I was invited to come on to a podcast hosted by Martin Cove, who plays the sensei for Cobra Kai. So him is twin kids. They host a podcast as well, and I got reached out to be a guest. I was like, yes, I would be honored,
Oh yeah,
flattered.
that's dope,
So
man.
yeah, I was the only fan that they reached out to of a fan to be on the show. And so they put me in touch with their this lady who kind of coordinates all of that stuff. And she's like, oh, can you come to Beverly Hills and to be in the studio? I'm like, I live in Portland, Oregon. I'm so it's like, no,
Oh,
it was probably we could do it over Zoom, but there I am sitting like, man, if I
yeah,
just
like
lived in
damn, I
Cali,
gotta eat out
yeah,
here.
yeah, like I could have been in studio with them, and I would have,
Yeah,
I would have just felt a little bit more validated for like all the hard work I've done. So I
yeah,
totally
yeah.
get it. Now, the transition from San Jose to LA, has that been a challenge at all? Like, how's that been for you?
No, honestly, bro, I love it out here. Me and my girlfriend, we love it out here. We have friends who are also already out here, and they're from
Okay,
the Bay Area, but they've been out here just a couple more years longer than us,
waiting
and
for you
so
guys.
yeah, yeah. So we have friends out here. We're not completely alone, and then I have some family who stay in like Long Beach and Irvine and Anaheim, kind of by like Disneyland area.
Yeah.
But I haven't met up with them yet because it's only been like 3 weeks. It's only been 3 weeks since we've been out here, and
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
but
yeah.
so far, man, we've been loving it. We love it so far.
It's awesome. What's the
Yeah.
weather like right now?
It's cold in the mornings, and then it gets kind of like warm, humid, cold. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but it's definitely when we first got here, it was warm, and
It's not,
majority of
it's
the
not,
time it's warm.
it's not 35 and snowing like it is in Portland, right?
Oh yeah, no, no, but it
Cold.
does get kind of cold. It gets down to like low 50s.
Man, that's
Yeah,
warm for
bro.
me. That's no that's a t-shirt weather for me. Low
Yeah,
50.
I know, man. But other than that, it's pretty warm. Like I don't like our apartment gets kind of cold, so when I went outside, I was like, oh, it's hot outside.
Yeah,
Which is cool because we're nice and cool inside. But
sure.
yeah,
Must be nice. So I noticed you put out some new songs this year, like a few new songs, for a recording artist who was working full time. Well, how did 2020 affect you?
oh man, 2020. Um, you
Because,
know,
like you mentioned going on tours in the past
yeah.
and what
So
have you,
all the shows had to stop.
performances.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, so that definitely cut like income there. Couldn't do any pop ups or impromptu performances. Everything was kind of virtual. The good thing is streams went up, which is cool. Yeah, so that helped a lot. And yeah, man, and I was with my family too, so like we all kind of helped each other out at the time, and that's how we were able to survive. And yeah, it was tough, but I learned a lot. I did a lot of like self, um,
Like soul
like,
searching or not
yeah,
even that,
yeah,
maybe
like, and at that time,
self
like I was
reflection,
self-reflection.
reflection.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
self-reflection. I read a lot. I worked on my mindset a lot. Um, yeah, and then I just built better habits. And so when the world started opening up again, I was like a completely new guy, man. Like I was super good with like my finances. I was really on top of like how I handle my emotions, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still learning. And
Yeah.
I just felt like it was just like going to school again. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
teaching yourself a lot of things. So yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was hard, but it was also a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. It sounds like, yeah, you definitely, made your time, useful and
Yeah,
wisely, to kind of just better yourself, mindset, and all this stuff. Did you, kind of work on any new stuff in the meantime, or were you kind of like taking a break? Like, did you see that as a means to kind of just take a break a little bit to kind of maybe, see if you need to kind of pivot your direction in music?
yeah, that's exactly it. That's what happened was at the start of or before pre-COVID, I was getting back into um, making music that wasn't for me. I was like a yes man to like all of my friends, and I started making music like back into like street music, and um, it just wasn't me. And so when COVID hit, I actually lost all my friends. Like I cut everyone off because there was just a clash of mentality and like and so all my friends I let them go, and I was like alone pretty much, and I was like, you know what, I want to get back to making R&B music, and it was like the best decision of my life, you know what I mean? And I matured, and my music has been getting so much better ever since then, and so definitely use that time wisely during COVID.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. I'm glad that you were able to do that and kind of, also kind of be aware and recognize, that you need to cut certain ties.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do. You mentioned friends. I don't know how long they were friends for, or
Oh, there
were.
for years, man. So it was
Yeah,
hard. It was definitely hard because it was like I didn't want to do it, but it was the best thing for me. Like they were, um, and till this day, like I haven't talked to them, and they were like my brothers. But at the same time, you just kind of you gotta know when people are in your life for a season, and sometimes they're not there for the next season. And it's all love now. What I mean, it's no bad blood. Like it just happened the way it had to happen.
yeah. it,
Yeah,
I kind of know what you mean because there's also sometimes there's also friends, but also some family
yeah,
who like at a point in their lives, they have, I don't want to make this sound bad, but they kind of hit a plateau in their life, right? Like they haven't, there's no more room for growth, right? And
yeah,
for you,
yeah,
for like something in your career, you're looking to continue to grow like as a person, but also a recording artist. Keeping certain
exactly.
people around is going to kind of stunt that growth. So you might want to
Yeah,
cut some ties so that way you can only go up and not be held back a little.
exactly. Yeah, and that was probably one of the reasons too. There are multiple reasons, but that was definitely one of them. Was a
Yeah.
lot of them were like, "How about me? What about me?" And I'm like,
They
"Dude,
want
I
you to put
can't.
you on
Yeah, like I can't
or
do
put them on.
me and yeah, I can't do
Yeah.
me and try to grow and then also carry you. You know what I mean? Like you guys gotta work too. But
Right, 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 right.
that's just what some people are, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, almost like a handout,
Yeah, yeah,
like this. Yeah, you worked hard for yourself. It's like, yeah. I can understand that. Uh, so what is where do you see yourself in like 5 years, in 10 years?
in 5 years, I definitely want to start raising a family of my own. I want to have, um, like I'm not really chasing to be on the radio anymore or like all over on TV or anything like that. If it comes, it comes. I definitely want to. I wouldn't say no to it, but I just really want to be happy, man. I want to be happy raising a family, um, hitting all my goals that I have, like getting our own house, like having all the things that I wanted that I couldn't have when I was younger, but getting them now, taking care of my family and my girl's family. You know what I mean? Like doing that. In 10 years, I definitely want to have like my own record label of artists, and start passing on what I did and my wisdom to other artists to help them grow. Um, have my own recording studio for like students out here in LA and in the Bay Area, all over the West Coast. You know what I mean? Like especially helping like Asian artists who never had like a platform. Like we never really had a platform to or anyone to look up to. So I would definitely want to be a pioneer and be like someone, a form of inspiration for um, artists. Like Asian artists, Filipino artists, or anyone of like that's a minority ethnicity. As to inspire them and chase their dreams. So that's what I see.
Yeah, you sound like you got a lot of great ideas. Have you even considered something like kind of on I don't want to call it like a bigger scale because what you're envisioning sounds very big too. We kind of been talking about like your journey in musicality and like production and music and stuff like that. Do you think about like I don't know workshops or something virtual, even like for kids who like want to learn this stuff,
Yeah,
for like the Asian the Philam, or the
yeah,
AAPIs,
yeah.
who don't have the means for this stuff. I mean, I think that'd be great too.
Yeah, like I definitely want. It's always been part of my plan to like give back, right? But I feel like I can't um, give back right now just because I'm still on my journey, and I want to be able to like show and tell, like show, lead by example. Like I can't show them like, oh, you got to do it this way if I haven't completed my journey yet. And once I complete my journey or have something that is like um, that has some form of credibility, then I can um, teach the game. You know what I mean? But I mean, I am willing to help anyone who wants to be an artist right now. But I just feel like on the bigger grand scale of things, of like having a recording studio or like a record label like that, I want to be established first, and then help the next man.
That's amazing. In terms of collaborations, I've seen, we mentioned the I Am Sue. I only just found today that you've also collaborated with Heartbreaker,
Oh yeah, yeah.
so how did some of these collaborations come about? Do you reach out? Does the, like formerly your record label, how do the collaborations come about when making a new song?
Yeah, it all depends. Most of the time it's social media, DMs, and then just or friends, like mutual friends. Like Heartbreaker, shout out Heartbreaker, man. He's a cool guy. I met him through um, my homie Young Jay. He's also a Vietnamese American artist. Dope as hell. It's probably one of the best Vietnamese I've heard that can rap from San Jose. Um, and I met Ty Viet G. He's also out there in Portland.
Portland,
Yeah,
yeah.
we had a song with him. He's a cool dude. We had a song with Stupid Young out here in LA. Yeah, so it's just really just yeah, so through social media and then just parties, and then we just exchange, and it's just showing love,
Right, right.
respect, and then you just build relationships. Um,
Yeah. It probably more convenient too, being out in LA since it's so much bigger, and a lot of people kind of like moving there for the same reasons. Probably easier to collaborate too. What are some dream collaborations, new or old?
oh man, dream collaborate. That's a good question. A dream collaboration. Definitely, I want to make a song with like YG, just to tie in like that West Coast.
Did did you do something that was like the I feel like it was a YG song, One Time Coming. Did you do something like One Time Coming? I feel there was something that
Uh,
had that flavor.
yeah, it
Was
was
that
called
YG?
Tipping and Boat. I had a guy named RJ on it. So RJ is part of that same label with DJ Mustard and with YG. And so we did the song. It was a remake of Ain't No Fun. Remember Ain't No Fun?
That what I heard. Yeah, I might be thinking of a different song, but there was one that I just because I was just it was definitely like it was just straight up West Coast.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was YG could have been older, but it just had that the sound of YG song One Time Coming, but
Uh,
it could be a different song though.
yeah, I'm not sure which one it was, but yeah, definitely YG. Ty Dolla Sign. I want to make a song with Ty Dolla Sign. Um, collabs. I want or like beat production collabs. I want a Timberland beat, man. I want a Dr. Dre beat. I want um, who else is a dope artist? I want to produce for like Ariana Grande, man. I love Ariana Grande. Dua Lipa.
Kind of throwing music out there is that something that's kind of easy to do? Like I have this song that I wrote for you, but I heard what was it? The Runners, they did that song Hustlin', like that was supposed to be for T.I., but it ended up going to Rick Ross, you
Oh
know?
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
You
forgot
know,
where I read that, but I was like, well, that makes sense, because of like I forgot T.I.'s label, but doesn't it have the word hustle in it or something? Or um
I don't know. I'm not sure.
but that's why it had the hustle in it. And they're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be perfect for Tip. But then I think he turned it down, and it
Oh,
went to Rick Ross. But
nice.
yeah, is that something you have any insight on, like producers, cutting up a track and say like, hey, this is for this artist,
Yeah.
whether they turn
Um,
it down or not. But
I did that one time. Like, I'm usually really picky with, and really, like my beats are very personal to me. And so I did, pitch out a couple beats to, I'm not sure if you know, they're a big Bay Area legend, group. They're called RBL Posse. They
oh,
sang,
I'm familiar with
they
the
did,
title. Yes,
Bammer Weed, Don't Give Me No Bammer Weed, Don't Smoke That Shit. It's a big, like, they're as big and legendary as, like, Too Short,
Act
E40,
Dre and
Not
stuff. Yeah,
Afraid. Yeah, they're part of that same movement, like, from the
right.
Bay Area. So, anyways, I always listened to them growing up um, as a teenager. And then I got blessed to be on a song with them. I did a hook for them. And then after that, we shot a music video. Um, and then I actually remade one of my favorite songs from them. And then I pitched it to him and he loved it. And so he used it in one of his albums. So that was like one of my like dope aha full circle moments as a producer to have one of my favorite rappers growing up on one of my beats that I flipped. It was a remix
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, man, it was dope.
Well, man, that would be a good way to kind of get your foot in the door into like just kind of getting your name out there and producing too. Just kind of like, repurposing some of their songs, but like, hey,
Yeah,
you ever thought about doing a remix, to this?
exactly.
Oh, speaking of, I forgot who the producer was, but one of your songs where you used Sully Cell, "It's Going Down Tonight."
Yeah.
Like
Oh
that
man.
took me back to when I was 13 years old, dude. I was just like,
Yeah, man. Which
that
one
was a good
was
one.
that? But
It's
I
crazy. You've
love.
done so many songs that you have to think about it for a sec.
Yeah, I forgot which one it was. I think that one is How Deep Is Your Love. But
That's it. That's it. That's the one.
I redid Keith Sweat's original How Deep Is Your Love because It's Going Down Tonight by Sally Stell was a remix of Keith Sweat's. So I did my version, which featured like a mix of both of those songs, and
So you produced that one.
I produced that one. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, man.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Like when I heard that's going down, I was like, oh shit, sell.
Hey, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. That's crazy. Yeah, we had the same taste in music, man. That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just listening. I was just like, and I'm, again, like my ears always go to like samples and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't know why I'm wired that way. And I didn't even know that until I think I was like 14 and I was in Stockton and my stepsister, like I was playing some songs for her. Like I grew up a big Bone Thugs and Harmony fan,
Me
right?
too. Me too.
Huge. Yeah. I've seen them in concert like 5 times. It sucks because with that group, it's always like a variation of the five,
Yeah,
like of the 5 times I've seen them, only one of them was all five of them. And then the other times were like three or four and it's not
yeah,
always the same. But anyway, because of that style, I was also a fan of like Do or Die, Twista, and stuff like that.
yeah.
And I
Man,
played a song
you
for her,
play too.
dude. I played "Bustin' Back," which was Twista and Speed Not Mobsters, which it was actually a Bone Thugs diss. And so like
Oh,
I
wow.
played that for her, and she was like, "This is probably like their best song." And sorry, it's about Bone. I was like, "No, no, no!" But listen to the production. I was like pointing things out. She's like, "Oh," and that's when she made the comment about me pointing things out. Like I did it without actually thinking I was doing it. Like, oh,
Yeah,
but this part of it is what makes the song good. And I think that's why I like Daz and Dr. Dre, because there's
yeah,
things that you can kind of isolate and be like, oh man, that part right there of the song is like it's beautiful. Like it's
yeah.
just yeah,
And
just
just
really
like
sticks out.
like with the Dr. Dre and the West Coast thing and Bone Thugs, like I love that Easy E diss
Oh,
on Dre. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
real motherfucking G's. You know, and so and just like Ruthless Records and like in Death Row. You know what I mean? Like that whole like vibe was so dope, and so I try to bring that sound, but with R&B, like just
Yeah.
a hint, a taste of that, but with R&B. Um,
It's kind of like when Jagged Edge took the Hail Mary, right? Like I think Jagged Edge
did
kind
they
of
do
did
that
something like
one?
that. Where how's Hail Mary go? Uh I forgot what song it was, but I was like,
They
oh, they
did
got that part
that.
from Hail Mary.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
yeah. See, I'm sure people are yelling at us right now.
I know.
I should
I
have.
love this song.
Oh, let's see, Jagged Edge. This is great interviewing right here. Jagged Edge. Essentials.
But
Maybe
I
that'll help out.
was a Jagged Edge though.
Promise. Let's get married. What you trying to do, baby? Oh, just to me, old. I gotta be. I think that's
Oh,
one of
I
my
love
favorites.
that song.
Yeah, I gotta
Promise
be.
is one of my favorite songs from.
Promise. Absolutely. Yeah, Jagged Edge and 112 were like up there for me.
Yes.
Drew Hill. I think you even sang a part, "Sleeping in My Bed." I feel. I think you had a line in one of there. But
I
yeah,
took a lot of melodies from a lot of '90s and
a
2000s.
lot of influences. A lot of influences.
A
Like,
lot of influence.
and you do it just enough where it's not like, oh, this is another. Like you're just sampling. Like you are.
Yeah.
Putting your own spin on it, and you can hear the influences, which I don't think is a bad thing. Some people be like, "Well, it's not original." Well, I mean,
Yes.
not many songs are nowadays, right?
Yeah.
It's all
Music is
influences.
all your favorite songs are taking their influence from somewhere else. Every freaking song, like it doesn't matter. But to each their own. You know what I mean? Like, and I learned to not be like you can't please everyone. You know what I mean? Like you can't. So appreciate those who appreciate you, and if they don't, on to the next. You know?
And on that topic, actually, you're like kind of, your journey as an artist. What, if any, types of criticisms have you faced, like in your music, in your sound, in your style? Well,
Oh
what
yeah,
have you come
a
across any of
lot,
that stuff?
man.
Yeah.
A lot of people nowadays are like, oh, he can't sing, or like he uses too much auto tune. whatever. I'm like, man, everyone uses auto-tune, bro. Like,
Drake
I
uses
don't,
auto-tune. The T-Page is
Chris
like,
Brown uses
what are we
it.
talking
Ariana
about? Yeah,
Grande. I know, like, who
right.
cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it
Cher did it.
definitely, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I use it. Like,
Zapp and Roger,
never
started
Roger,
it.
like they're one of
What do
the pioneers, bro. Like, but whatever though. Like, I don't care. And like, it doesn't hurt me because I'm like, I can still sing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a tool to make music. You know what I mean? And everyone, it's just the finisher of on vocals. You know what I mean? Like, so that, yeah, man,
but like
being
I guess like what I'm kind of looking for, like, have you faced like some criticism like Aquafina when when she was a recording artist, people talked about her black scent, and and things like that. But like she grew up in Queens, like
yes,
I don't know if there was a lot of like other Asian Americans she was around to like sound like them. She sounded
yeah,
like herself growing up in Queens,
yeah,
uh, kind of something like that. I don't know if like I not gonna lie, like I had a phase where I used the N word when I was younger, and a lot of that came from the music that I listened to.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I told you that I used to write songs, and there was a
yeah,
song that a friend and I wrote where we had like the N word in there,
yeah,
and like we recorded it one day. My producer's black, he
yeah,
didn't care, but he
yeah.
had friends that were over that were black, and after we recorded, they're like, "Yo, dope song, but you guys, like you guys
Have you
should
saying
need
that?
to use the N word." We're like,
Yeah,
huh. And we just never thought of it, like no one ever told us
yeah.
till that day. We weren't offended, they weren't offended, and we understood, and then we stopped ever since.
You know what's crazy, bro? Like, I like coming from the Bay Area. People say that word all the time, even if they're not black. I've said
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Like I don't anymore. But ever since I made music, I never wanted to say that. Never wanted to use the N word in my raps or in my songs, just because I knew like saying it on record on wax is like it's permanent. You know what I'm saying? But
Right. Right.
a lot of my boys who are rappers, they're like, oh, we're from the Bay, like this is how we talk. I'm like, no, but when you saying it on wax or when you're saying it on record, it's different. You know what I mean? Like you don't want someone saying like chink or like monkey. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah.
derogatory towards us Asians. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to ever make anyone feel uncomfortable with that. Even if I am from the Bay and that's how people talk, I'm never gonna say that on record. Like, and I was guilty of it when I was younger of doing that, but ever since then, like you'll listen to all my songs now, like I never say it. There's so much more things you can say than saying the N word now. You can say like,
Right.
player, homie, or brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no need for it anymore.
It's just times have changed, and we were none the wiser growing up as kids, right?
Yeah,
Like it's all maturation when you kind of understand, like, yeah, that's why were we using it? We just thought it was okay because like we were listening to music that had those, and I think
exactly.
Tupac had a quote that I don't really remember exactly, but he was trying to kind of I guess really explain the difference between like the N word with the ER and the N word with the A, and his usage of it. And to me as a kid, I was like, okay, well, as long as it's not the ER, because that's not what I mean at all.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I feel, I like to feel that I don't have like a racist bone in my body. And so,
yeah,
but after the recording incident, I'll call it that. I was like, that's when like I was like, oh, there's people that could get offended by me saying that. And so
yeah,
as like almost a new father, it's just like, okay, like I don't need to
yeah,
say it, but I was around
yeah,
guys that it was just natural to us at the time.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Me too.
Oh, thugs, come on!
Yeah,
Like,
man.
if you had a
Yeah.
counter for any time like Crazy Bone said it, was like, man, like I think you run out of digits to use. Like it was just crazy. They're pretty. They use that a lot. Bone
Yeah,
thugs.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah. As we get ready to wrap up, man, like we kind of mentioned, your kind of like 5-year, 10-year plan. Is there an end game for you? Like we talked about your hospitality and tourism degree, and you
Yeah.
want to make music a full time. And then you talk about a family. Do you have like a certain end game, or are you like, no, I'm just gonna make music till the day I die?
Yeah, man, like now that I'm getting older, I don't think I'll ever stop making music. It's just gonna evolve, just like I've seen in the past of like because music never ends, and every age listens to music and it's just built in me, man. Like, and I've seen how I've matured and changed and my music has changed. So I have faith that as I get older, I'm going to develop like a cult following that's going to love my music, that's going to resonate with my music for even when they get older. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely not ever going to end for me. But I think as I get older, I'm definitely going to find new passions and new things that I'll add to my arsenal of skills and talents. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Yeah.
like you know. And I feel like, but music itself will never leave me, especially because it's just been part of my life so long. But you know, I definitely want to get into like um, owning businesses. You know, like I'm not too sure what yet. And you know, I've read a lot of books like Rich Dad, and you know, like I try to like invest in things, but it's just not one of my like main things to do. You know, but definitely as I get older and I'm on that frequency of looking or of finding it at the right time, I know it's going to come to me. I have full faith in that. But other than that, man, I'm just trying to be happy, be peaceful, and just have passion and love what I do every day.
Yeah, man. Well, whatever you do, I'm happy to follow it. I became an instant fan just listening
Thank you,
to a few
man.
tracks, man.
Me too,
And
you, man. I'm hella happy for you too, man.
oh, hey, yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, so many more songs that I haven't gotten to. But again, as we're wrapping up here, where can people find you on social media if you welcome the interaction? But also, since there's so many different platforms and you've done so much, what would you say would be the best way to follow you for your music, where it all is? Because I feel certain platforms may not have it all for their reasons, whether it's copyright or whatever the case is.
Yeah, I'm definitely, if you are trying to find me, um, search Russ Cosón on. I'm on all music streaming platforms. So Spotify is definitely the main one that I'm pushing. Apple Music, YouTube. As far as social media, definitely find me on TikTok. That's the one thing, the main thing I'm pushing right now is my TikTok, Instagram as well. I'm also on Facebook. You know, everyone got Facebook, so I check all of them. You know, so definitely you'll find me on all major social media, but definitely TikTok. TikTok is the number one.
All right. And since, like you're helping me kind of launch the transition to my YouTube channel. So I guess the best way to follow me is at Podstalgic on Instagram and Twitter, but I'm not very active on those because it's more of a movie review. But I guess I'll just say just follow me at Rip Citizen on Twitter. That's where I'm, kind of active, unless you follow Cobra Kai, but I'm really active on my Cobra Kai accounts.
Nice.
But that's gonna do it. Russ, stand by. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. And, if you guys got questions, whatever, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and thank you all for your support.
Yeah.